Howdy, howdy, motherfuckers. It's just the two of us today. You and I, mate.
What's up?
Last time it was just you and I, we had our Last of Us 2 discussion.
Oh my god.
That's how long it was, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, man.
Did.
Holy fuck. Dude, what a week it's been. Fuck my life. Yeah, I was sick to begin with, and so I had to be rushed to the COVID testing site and isolated.
Oh, was it nice? Did you like it when they go like up
It's the
here?
second time it's happened. So that didn't happen this time. They didn't do that this time.
What'd they do?
Well, they fondled it, but they didn't shove it all the way back. You know, they didn't.
Where'd they?
They just caressed the inside. You know,
Where'd they shove it?
all the way back. You know. But no, they did like the fucking. They did it the throat one. They did the. You know, like they did a bit of that, and then they started to caress the inner nostril. You know, it sucked, and then I had to drive home after being violated.
My face was violated.
Oh, yeah, I actually said to the doctor, and she was like, are you excited? I said, why the fuck would I be excited? You're about to fucking penetrate my nostrils. I'm not fucking excited.
What? Why would they ask you?
I reckon they had a weird kink. I don't know. I won't shame
Are
them.
you excited?
I can't wait.
Hold on, let me just. Oh.
But dude, they're really quick at the moment with the results. Like, got it the next day, so I was pretty stoked on that. I don't have COVID, as we can see. I'm not dead.
Well, they probably got better at it.
Well, no, even back in the day before the stage 4, when I went and got a test done just to be safe. Like, I had no symptoms. I just wanted to get one done because I've been working in one of the hotspots.
Yeah.
That it was fine. Think it again 2 days, not even. Anyway, I didn't actually introduce. Welcome to the NerdSpice podcast. It's just Tolga and I today.
I just like looking dead.
Hi, Tolga.
How you doing?
Hi, how you?
This is
No,
exciting.
don't move your eyebrows, man. That's fucking creepy. How you doing? How you doing? How you good? Anyway, games. We play them.
Games are a thing, yeah.
We do that. We do that stuff.
Games are a thing.
Have you been playing anything this week?
No, because I've nothing new, nothing like fresh and
Have
new.
you gotten into the DLC for Pokemon, the expansion?
No, I haven't. No.
I'm trying to get through the first expansion to get to the new one because apparently the new one's really good, but the first one sucks, so it's so hard to get through.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I haven't because I need to finish some PS4 games.
You got DMC5.
Yeah, I'm not far finishing that.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I could do it in one sitting, like an hour or two. I can do that.
What other games?
I need to finish Dark Souls 1 remastered.
You still haven't done that? Okay.
Yeah, still haven't done that. Because the thing is, I don't play during like the semester.
Yeah.
Like the Switch is easy to play because.
Where are you at in Dark Souls?
I think it's early days because remember I had to restart.
Did you?
Yeah, so I remember like I was doing like a Dex Pyromancer. So like bleed and then burn. Yeah, so I was doing the whole bleed burn thing. And then what happened is I somehow managed to accidentally murder all the pyromancy NPCs.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Pretty much.
No.
And then I did a speed run as the broken. You told me to do that broken class, so the strength.
The Cleric Knight.
The Cleric Knight.
That's so broken. It's so broken. Once you get. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
So I was just gonna say. So I sped run that. Got to. I'm pretty sure I beat Quelaag.
Yeah. Once you get the Covenant of the Sun Covenant. You do a few co-ops with them. You can get the is it the Lightning Spear or the Greater Lightning Spear? That once you get that with the Cleric Knight, you just fucking rinse them.
One shot.
You rinse them, and because the best thing with the Cleric Knight is you've got healing, and then you've got healing on top of your Estus. You can use your own healing abilities. Yeah. And then you've also then you get the like lightning spear and the like greater lightning spear. Fuck my life, and then it's a joke.
So then I had to do that. I'm pretty sure I got to Quelaag.
Okay, so like it's kind of that's where shit's like, okay, now you got to start looking at doing the big boys, the big daddies.
Yeah.
It's like kind of where the game starts to then go, okay, now we're just spreading out and you've got to fucking go out everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I just actually, I got bored and reopened my Switch Dark Souls Remastered. It's really good on Switch. It's actually really good on Switch.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not on TV, though. Don't put it on the TV. Handheld mode, it's really good.
Yeah.
On the TV, it's like,
Yeah.
But when it's handheld, it's really comfortable and really smooth. I decided to go a Dex build. And I can't hear you.
They're so fun. I'm whispering.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
They're so fun. They're so fun.
They're so fun.
But like, I like the bulky boys in Dark Souls. I don't know why. Bulky boys just.
The cover art is a bulky boy. Like.
Well, no, but it's not even just like the armor. It's just I love the two-handed weapons in Dark Souls. Dark Souls' two-handed weapons are so much fun. When you get to 3, there are so many fun two-handed weapons.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I'll give 2 is 2 really. There was a lot of fun Dex builds in 2. Like there was some really cool spears and shit. Like some pyro builds you could go with.
Yeah.
I think Dark Souls 2 had the most diversity in builds, in my opinion.
Fair enough. So yeah, that's my state with Dark Souls 1, and then I'm going to finish Dark Souls 3.
Where are you at in Dark Souls 3?
Haven't touched it yet.
Okay, yeah, good. Finish 1. I'd even recommend maybe doing 2. I know back in the day I said don't even bother with 2, but going back to 2 now, I still think it's worthwhile. Like I would say though, don't do it everything. That's my one thing with 2. It's not the Souls game to do everything, because there's this game, they like just overpopulated with the enemies, overpopulated with the bosses, and like there's too many bosses, so you're more likely to have you're more likely to have bad bosses, which is then the problem with it.
I don't know, when I look at Dark Souls 2, I can just tell it's not made by the same guys.
Well, it's not yet. It's the same studio. It's just the director went with like it was like the A team and B team, and like the B team kept working on Dark Souls 2, and A team with Miyazaki went on to Bloodborne.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I don't think I will, purely because they're long games.
Yeah.
And like if I don't have to, and I don't necessarily have the want to.
Yeah. I'd even like, once you get your PC, I'd happily like do a co-op run of Dark Souls 2 with you. That'd be a lot of fun in my opinion.
That'd probably be fun. I mean, we'd probably die so much because we're...
No. With co-op with Dark Souls 2, it's a lot more chill.
Yeah, it probably is, but I just mean because we're dumb together.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. So I should get into my game. So I put 2 days into it. About like 16-ish hours.
Tell me how worth it is.
Valhalla. AC Valhalla.
Valhalla. Yeah, go hit me. Whack it on me. Flop it on me.
I am so torn with this. And I'm more torn with this game than any game that's happened this year, where I'm like a bit like, is it good or is it not? Because when this game works... It is so much fun. It is really good. Like, phenomenal. Like, it's like, oh, you guys are getting your footing again. You know, like, it's like, oh, wow, I see.
Yeah.
But that's when it works. This game is buggy as fuck.
As per usual.
Yeah, but, like, it's bad buggy. Like, you know, you could laugh at Unity and see, like, the weird fucking face meshing monstrosities and shit and go, have a giggle. But this shit's bad, man. Like, there's this weird freeze frame for a second when you start a conversation with someone. Like, the conversation will start, like, the first line will start, and then the the person you're talking to is just, like, standing there for a second, and then he turns around to start the conversation. You know, it's like shit like that.
Like old school RPG vibes.
Yeah, but, like, old school RPG vibes, it felt like that was being done on purpose. This is just, like, they're just, like, kind of standing here, and then they're like, now we start the convo. And it's not smooth. It's not, it just looks off. My other, another bug that I've encountered multiple times now, so the way this game works is there's not, like, side quests per se. There's world events. So they're kind of focusing on, you know, like how Red Dead and, like, GTA do the whole, like, something just happens in the world. Like, those, like, random world encounters. They do that, but they're still, like, specifically written things that appear in that specific area all the time. But that's what the kind of vibe they're going for, where instead of you going and doing a side quest, it's like you go and experience this world counter that's like 5 seconds, 5 minutes worth of your time. 10 minutes worth of time. It's not like a long side quest. It's just a quick little story. And it's some of them are really cool. Like, some of them are really well done. But, like, I've had a few glitches with the early game, like when you're in Norway still.
Mm-hmm.
I had one where you essentially had to choose which, like, out of 2 guys who you'd kill and who you'd save. And so I chose one of them, I killed him, but the other guy must have gotten poisoned, and so he died as well. And then I just never could complete it. The quest is still there, and I just can't complete it. And it's really frustrating as someone who likes to tick things off. It's just there on the map.
So wait, how did the other NPC die?
I'm assuming he got poisoned or something. So I killed one of them, and then the other one, like, started talking and then just keeled over. And China's like, okay. And because of that, the game just... The mission's not done. So, like, that was a weird thing. I had another mission in Norway, and it was... the story is you meet a guy that you've gone raiding with, and he's like, I'm creating a new crew, and I need someone to lead this crew. Can you test them out? And essentially, you get into a 3-man brawl with them. And it's like... They're like showing off their strength, and then they go, oh, we get to fight you, and, you know, the guy's going, no, you're going to get your ass beat by him, but whoever gets beat last is the leader. Which is just, it's funny, because obviously these guys aren't trained warriors, and your character's meant to be, like, a fucking beast.
Yeah.
And so I won, and then it just never progressed the mission, and so I was just stuck in this circle for the fist fight and couldn't get out of it. It was just stuck there. I waited like 15 minutes.
So early game bugs.
Yeah. And, like, I haven't experienced that once I got to England. It's my problems have been when I was in Norway. As soon as I got to England, everything was fine, and now I'm like, oh my god, this is what this game is, and it's amazing.
Right.
And yeah, like that's like my main gripes are just there's a lot of bugs involved. Like, there's been 3 or 4 missions that I just can't complete. There's been like those weird cutscene problems, and shit like that.
About like mechanical.
Yeah, it's just like they didn't ruin the experience. They just hindered it, you know. But as soon as I got to England, which is it was about 6 hours in, got to England because I just ended up giving up on doing all the side stuff. Because there was so many glitches, like, fuck it, I'm just going to smash through the story and get to England. As soon as I did, this game opened up, and it's so much fun. Like, so they've taken the combat that was from Origins and Odyssey. They've taken that, so, you know, you've got your light, heavy attack, that Dark Souls-esque combat, yeah?
Yeah.
But they've really, really fucking improved it. Because like the biggest problem with Origins specifically, and a little bit of Odyssey, was they took the Dark Souls combat, but then went, now we're just going to throw you a shit ton of enemies, and it's just not easy to deal with. That was my problem with Origins. Right. It didn't feel comfortable dealing with these enemies in a Dark Souls-esque combat. Valhalla went, okay, we need to find a way to fix this. They moved the camera back a little bit, it feels, so you can see more of the enemies around you. Every weapon has a parry. Every left-handed weapon, you can parry.
Right.
So you just tap the left button, it'll do a parry. You hold it, you use their attack or their ability on the left-hand weapon. Or you just have the shield. The combat's really comfortable. I really enjoy it. Like, it actually feels like I'm actually hitting the motherfuckers. Like, I'm beating the shit out of them. It is brutal. Like, it is brutal. And, like, those brutal kills, like, that was cinematic from, like, the old AC games that we used to love, they're back. Like, there are some brutal fucking kills.
Like the end of combat.
Yeah. They're like the ones in Odyssey just felt really just meh. Because it was just like, flurry. This was literally it. It's like, and then just throw them. And that was the fucking end kill. I was like,
wait.
The fuck? Yeah. Like, that was Odyssey. Like, that was what happened in Odyssey. I was like, what the fuck? That's not a fucking final kill. Whereas, like, these are, like, fucking heavy. And they all differ depending on what the weapon the enemy has. Because most of the time, you use their weapon against them. So, like, if they've got, like, a dual axe, you literally pull the axes from them, fucking slice at them, kick them back, and just piff them both into their fucking throat as they fall back. Like, it's just shit like that. Or, like, you know...
It's visceral.
It's visceral. Like, it's really heavy. My only problem with the combat is There's bosses. There's no run button. There is.
No roll button.
Oh, there is a roll button.
I'm joking.
I was like, oh, you fuck, I get it. Don't bring it, don't remind me.
Okay.
But no, so my only problem is the boss fights so far.
Yeah.
They suck. They really suck. Because the boss fights are they're bigger humans. They're humans, right? So I put it on the hard difficulty. Not the hardest, but I put it on very hard, and then there's like fucking one up. Because obviously Odyssey and Origins combat was not difficult, or Origins was because it was poorly optimized. Odyssey's was not difficult at all. Like, I could put on the hardest difficulty and breeze through it. So I decided I'll go on the hard, like very hard difficulty in the game. And in the boss fights, that's where very hard difficulty comes out. Because it's essentially your two-shot kills. You're a two-shot kill most of the time. But some of the attacks just don't feel right. And it's just, you're a two-shot kill, but these guys are fucking sponges. And it just feels like I'm whittling away at them. And it's just not fun. It's not like I'm fighting these giant monsters or anything. I'm fighting a dude with a two-handed sword. Or someone my size. And for some reason, he can take a fuck ton of blades. And it's just that, it doesn't feel like a boss fight. It just feels like a bore, a giant chore.
Yeah.
That's my problem with the boss fights. Thankfully, don't have to deal with them that much. And like, no Assassin's Creed has done a good boss fight, realistically.
Well, I was just about to say, with the Assassin's Creed franchise, the way that they base it in reality, right? At the end of the day, like, for example, in Origin, I didn't like when, like, you had, like, a dream sequence and you fought, like, a giant snake.
Right.
But like, I was like, okay.
Well, so they do bits of that in this.
Yeah.
They do that in this.
Because and this is like, with essentially what we spoke about last week, like, at the end of the day, or at least from my perspective, what the best part of Assassin's Creed was that these are things happening in real historical events. You're in the world.
But I mean, they did already have that fantastical element with the whole precursors
No, look,
etc.
of
And
of
obviously the artifacts,
course,
like you got apples of Eden and all that.
of of course they did. But what I'm saying is that you were discovering it rather than like, oh, I'm fighting a dragon type thing. Like you were
Yeah.
discovering
They
history.
they do bits of this in Valhalla so far, but it hasn't been like to that extent. They did a lot of more of it in Odyssey, where instead of it being a dream sequence, it is just straight up you're fighting a minotaur.
Yeah,
They do explain it in Odyssey. It's not just like that. The actual concept was the precursors made these creatures to kind of keep the humans in check, and they were
yeah,
actually human animal hybrids that they created to keep the humans in check. Which makes sense. Like they did have these crazy fucking technologies. I mean, they were practically immortal.
gods,
Yeah,
practical gods.
but so like this, they instead of it going that route, it goes more of the mysticism route of Norse mythology. So you're not fighting fucking, you're not fighting the snake or the serpent, the world serpent and shit like that. You're not doing that.
Yeah,
But they take like a lot of the a lot of the witchcrafty side of it, you know. So
yeah,
and it works. It works though because it's instead of it being just like I'm using magic. A lot of the time, similar to like Far Cry, I'm tripping right now. Something's
yeah,
made me trip,
yeah, yeah.
and so it
See,
works. And like they did, and I sorry guys, this is gonna be a minor spoiler. That they straight up showed Odin. Odin is just chilling. So like you know how you always have those dream sequences when you kill a Templar, and like not dream sequence, but you go into like the Animus and they're talking. They straight up, it's pretty badass. Like every time, Odin's just fucking behind you, standing there like watching over it, and like just every now and then he'll fucking join in, and it's really dope. Like it's fucking sick, and it's clearly they're kind of hinting at Odin being the precursor. That's what I find, at least. That's what I'm gathering. Odin's going to be one of the precursors in this story,
right.
because yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But it's really good, man. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I think they went really cheap with Eivor's character in the sense of they didn't have the balls to make him just either male or female. They did that cop out of not even like, at least with Odyssey, it was like if you choose the male, the female's the villain, or if you choose the female, the male's the villain, because it's brother or sister you're playing as.
Yeah.
This one, it's just they literally just say, "Oh, there's an anomaly. We don't know what gender it is," and so you decide it. And it's just like, dude, if you want, and like they've said that the canon one is female Eivor, so I'm like, if you want to make it a female, just make it a fucking female, because we don't care if the character is good. I don't care what gender it is. I just want you to stand by whatever you choose. Stop trying to pander to both sides, because there shouldn't be sides. You should just be able to make a character and be okay with it. Like, and I chose male Eivor because obviously if I get the option, I'm going to choose a male. I want to be a guy if I get the option. If I have the option, I'm going to choose male because I'm a male. But I would have just as happily played as female Eivor. Just as happily. I would not have given a shit. They just need to have stood by it. But like I said, man, so far this game is really good.
What about really mechanically, good. Like traversal system? Is there any new mechanics?
It's Odyssey. It's Odyssey's traversal system. So you can climb literally anything. They did bring back a sprint button because Odyssey didn't have a sprint button. You were just automatically sprinting.
I remember that, and it's just like you're going to talk to your mate, and you just barrel into it.
But so like they took that out. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't like because they've turned it into pressing left stick being the sprint button. But yeah, and like the problem is, some of it is like, dude, I can't even tell if I'm sprinting. I literally cannot tell.
Hey.
Like, okay, shit on Unity all you want, right? But its traversal system was the best. It was the best. Unity and Syndicate's traversal system were the best. Having that up and down and like really making it really fucking awesome to look at as well.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. And like it's just weird having this
weird middle stage.
Yeah, and it's like because
and then just run and walk. Yeah,
because they wanted to take. They took in Odyssey. They took Breath of the Wild's whole you can climb literally anything, and they added that to Odyssey essentially, where you can fucking just climb anything, but without stamina because you're a god.
Hey, you're a descendant of a precursor.
Yeah.
Why not?
And this is the same style. I do like that there's a sprint button again. It's such odd placement, and like they couldn't have put it on RT because obviously RT's a heavy attack, so they shot themselves.
I was gonna say, nah. I was just gonna be like, nah. This is wrong. This button should not be the sprint button.
No, not LT. Like left
RT. No, but it used to be one of the
RT. Triggers. Yeah, but now it's just left stick.
Yeah. Fair.
It's just odd, and like I said, sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm sprinting though.
As in, like the base speed feels quick.
No, the base speed is kind of it's a jog. It's like that AC1 like 2 jog. Yeah. But like it just like he does the animation, but I'm like, am I actually going faster? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I've actually gone into a sprint. The stealth.
Because Vikings were very stealthy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The combat's been so much fun, I don't stealth. I literally run into the camp, fucking dual axe, like, yeah! And like, because every camp essentially can be raided. So you run in, you call in all your fucking Vikings, and they just fucking storm it. And it's hype. It's like, ah! You just fucking piffing axes at people. Ah! You know, it's just so good. Like, seriously, man, I cannot stress how much fun this game is. I was so not excited for this. And it surprised me. I'm really enjoying it. I still think that they could have, like, for next time, they can maybe look at games like Ghost of Tsushima and actually take a fucking note from that. Because Ghost of Tsushima did what AC does, but better. And I know AC's changed a lot now. They've gone more into the RPG route. But I do think that the combat that Ghosts had could work. Like because look, let's be honest. Eventually they're going to get to Japan anyway. So just fucking take Ghosts. Take Ghosts stuff and, you know, look into it. Anyway, that's my Valhalla talk, man. Like, it's a fucking great game. It's a fucking great game. It's just, take it with a grain of salt. Right now.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, well.
It's a little buggy. But yeah. I should also mention, guys, sorry, but also just remember what Ubisoft has previously done, and they're still not answering to it. So just as a reminder, like, with their sexual assault allegations. As shitty as that is to bring it up, but it needs to be said. I'm not going to just happily advertise their game without mentioning it.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get into some... This is some, like... The first one's a little scummy. It's scummy, but it's an alleged situation. It's not a guarantee.
Just before we move on to that, did you finish Watch Dogs?
No, I fucking deleted that shit. Game sucked. Yeah. Literally, the day before Valhalla came out, I was like, nah, fuck this. Delete. It was shit. Fucking shit.
Cool.
Waste of time.
Fair enough.
NBA 2K21. We brought it up a couple weeks back about their ad shit, if you remember. Well, they're back. And better.
With ads?
No, not with ads. So, they announced they released a new player into their packs. James Harden, I think is his name.
Right, I don't know.
No, but like that's his name. Apparently he's a good defense player. So people wanted him because he'd be really good in defense for their big teams. He was a very very wanted character.
Yes.
Anyway, so this Redditor kind of came in and went, "Oi, something sus is going on with these packs." For the first 23 minutes of these packs, James Harden was not in it. So the first 23 minutes of it being like him meant to be in it, he wasn't, is what they're stating. Essentially meaning that all these people rushed over to buy these packs as soon as he got put in. And they, for the first 23 minutes of people buying it, they weren't getting him because he wasn't in the packs.
But how can you confirm that?
That's what I was going to say. It is alleged. And I do not believe that that's what happened. I just believe that people have just caught on to how shit the fucking chance of these things are. That's my opinion. Is they just got such shit chance for these packs of that. You know.
So what is he saying then on the 24th?
He's saying that they
got it.
No, they're saying so. As we mentioned, that there's a website that you can sell these cards on, but we don't. It's not. There's no fucking market for it. They don't get any money. On the secondhand market, they didn't come out until the 30th minute. Someone was the first person to sell it, and yeah, it's stupid. It's a stupid thing. I wanted to bring it up because I actually wanted to mention that I do not believe that they just didn't put it in. What I believe is the percentage, the likelihood is so low, the percentage is so low for that card that it took that long.
But I don't understand how you jumped to that conclusion.
It's probably because he was mad that he didn't get it.
Yeah, but what?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like I said, it's a really stupid scam, quote unquote. And I don't believe it. I do not agree with it. I think that it's just the percentages was low, and people are mad because they didn't get their character, and it's like, good. That's what you get for buying these packs in the first place. You fucking scum. For even doing it. That's it. There we go. That's the scum shit. Done. Okay, good news.
Right.
Mass Effect Remastered. It got confirmed. Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
You can finally play them all.
Yeah, the trilogy is going to come out on... I think it's going to be new and current gen. I think it's being made for the current gen, and then you're just going to be able to play it on the new gen.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you'd expect so with the new gen coming out.
Yeah. And then
tomorrow.
They also announced something else.
Yes.
A new Mass Effect game is in the works.
Oh, no.
And I kind of had a bit of a giggle because they were like, we have a veteran crew working on the new Mass Effect game. Essentially going like, don't worry, don't freak out. We're not doing what we did with Andromeda. We're not sending it to a random team. Also, not to mention, they're trying to say the veteran crew thing because after Anthem, so many of the old crew left BioWare. Literally, during the development of Anthem, so many leads from the old BioWare left. Mm-hmm. Because the development was really horrible, right? And they're trying to say, oh yeah, it was a veteran crew, so don't worry, it's going to be the old BioWare. It's like the old Mass Effects, you know?
The thing they need to do with it is don't come out with some Andromeda bullshit.
Andromeda had a good concept. The problem was the development on that game's a nightmare. If you don't know some of the shit that went down, you've got to feel bad for the team that was making it. Halfway through the development, EA decided to mandate that every game has to use the Frostbite engine, which is an engine made for shooters, not RPGs. And so Andromeda they had to essentially restart with Andromeda. And my problem with Andromeda was obviously you had all the glitches and shit, but you were in a new solar system and the only thing you could think of was an alien race that kind of looked like the green dude from Star Wars. The green tentacle fucking dude from Star Wars. Like, that's all you could think of. Really. You know, like, another fucking creature that's on two legs, like, another bipedal creature. It's just...
I just think, like... Because I'm a fan of Mass Effect. Played all of them.
Same.
Played all of them.
Two's the best.
Did the thing where like all backups were continued on, etc.
Yeah, you did all saves. You did an all save run.
Yeah. And for me, why Mass Effect is so good is obviously, like, it was great gameplay. It looked great. You know, customization was great. I loved the way it looked.
No,
like,
I'm not the look. I'm more on the gameplay. Gameplay was okay.
But the story, right?
Yeah, the characters. It's the characters. It's not even the story. The story was...
The story was
good. The story was good, but I could have gone with the most boring, bland story like Andromeda's was if you'd have given me characters like the original trilogy. Because those characters are what drove that story even further forward. Those characters are what made the ending of each game, except for the third one, so fucking impactful. You know? Yes. They had this master work of characters, and again, like you said, a combination of a good story as well. That this combination just fucking molded brilliantly. And the fact that, because it was an RPG, you're constantly talking to these characters. It's not like a game like...
COD.
Not COD. Like a game, let's say Assassin's Creed. But like the older Assassin's Creeds, yeah? Like Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood. Where you have a lot of characters that were good, but because you didn't have that option, you didn't have that, like...
There wasn't
ability
that
to go and talk
mechanic.
And like build and stuff, you know? It was... That's what truly made Mass Effect so good.
The relationship mechanic.
Yeah.
The Paragon and...
I mean, that was okay, but it was a bit more... I don't know. The Paragon and Renegade.
But
like, that was a bit... That was okay. It was... I think it was a little too black and white for me, personally. I don't like a mechanic that's like, this is just the Paragon and Renegade. I don't like it when it's labelled. I'd rather more of a mechanic of just choose these things. You'll find them come out later.
And then see if you go Paragon or Renegade.
Or even just, instead of just showing it, like, visually, have it come out in the story. That's the stuff I like, you know? Like, you know, in Witcher, I didn't do a quest, so later on down the line, this happened. Or like, I did this in this quest, so later on down the line, I had to kill this character. Stuff like that. I like those types of options and decisions versus this is a bad option, this is good option. You know?
And it's to say that Mass Effect 3 was fucking great until that you made that very final decision.
It was brilliant up until the end.
Yes.
But the problem is, the sad part is...
like that weird... She was AI, right? That AI girl or something.
Well, no, it was more just like, your option was essentially... destroy the world and keep your friends, or save the world and die. It was kind of like the concept of like the final option. It was like...
In the final one, it got rid of the fact that you did a Paragon or Renegade.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Because you just picked Paragon or Renegade.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I love these games.
Yeah, I like the sad thing with Mass Effect 3, I just wanted to point out, like, the sad part about Mass Effect 3 is it was literally like a 9 out of 10 game, but that ending drops it so far down because it doesn't just ruin 3, it ruins every subsequent game because every other game had such good endings. You then go, this built up to nothing. This trilogy built up to nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, that's what made it so much more hurtful compared to like if it was 2 that had the bad ending and then 3 had the great ending, that'd be a different story.
I think if they're doing another one, it needs more of a, like, for example, let's say with Andromeda was Andromeda. but then it needed to be like, okay, you load your save from this, and these
Well, I mean, Mass Effect
X
1
amount of
started...
characters.
No, Mass Effect 1 started with nothing. So I don't think it should have a save
No, but
file
like,
option.
for example, like, as in, that's happened, and based on that, like, X amount of characters came to the new solar system.
Well, I don't... The
Do you
whole
get
point of
me?
Andromeda was they didn't come to the Solar System because this happened before the ending of 3. They were still doing their shit. They left for the Andromeda Galaxy during, I think, 3. So...
Okay.
That's why these characters weren't there. It's because
Alright,
they
fair.
will... So, like, they don't know if the human race won. They don't even know that.
Right, look. I don't know.
I liked the concept of Andromeda. I liked this concept of discovering new planets, doing this stuff, all that. The problem was the characters weren't interesting enough to do it. They had to immediately still create an end of the universe situation, which wasn't necessary. Like, it could have just been a planet by planet, discovering these new races on these planets.
It's
and
a new planet.
Creating
it's a new solar system.
and like creating it would have been interesting to create like a diplomacy on each planet. You had to try and focus on the diplomacy of each planet and not start wars.
What was in the original, the Citadel, a new Citadel.
I would have been really cool.
You know what? It's what we've talked about before, because you know how we talk how people don't like to touch on like political
shit
subjects. Because if Andromeda was the end goal is you are building a citadel and it's you organizing it. So like, for example, these two races that you just met are warring. What can you do to help? You know, and then eventually you become the first leader of the citadel.
Yeah,
that would have been really cool. Like you've included the lore,
or even like instead of it being you become the first leader, you just become you're the voice of your solar system. You're the head of your group, and it's like that combination, like a senate. It's a senate. You're the senate.
One of the leaders.
Yeah, like no, I'm saying either or. Like that'd be really cool. I agree 100%. And like I said, going through each planet and kind of creating this diplomatic, like starting from literally nothing, and they don't trust you, or maybe some of them trust you a little bit more to begin with, like all this stuff, and like you kind of having to work your way through their culture and figuring out how you should converse with them, and like through context of you learning their culture, and that then can create greater ties, or it could create a fucking enemy later down the line. Shit like that. That'd be cool. That's where they should have gone with it, because that's where they could have gone with it. Now, obviously, I don't blame what Andromeda was on the studio, the developers. It's based on leadership. There was poor leadership, and all the nightmares in between that happened.
There's so many factors.
No, but like there's an article on what fucking ruined Andromeda. I'd recommend reading it. It was written by Jason Schreier. It was a nightmare, to say the least. It was a fucking nightmare. And then that nightmare went on into Anthem, and that's why Anthem was then shit. It was a similar situation of just poor leadership and management. But yeah, I'm really I'm nervous with the new Mass Effect game, just because BioWare has not been BioWare for a while, and like essentially everything's fucking kind of hanging on Dragon Age 4. Dragon Age 4 is going to be the deciding factor as to whether BioWare can come back. And it's stressful, man, because they made some phenomenal games. Like, some of my favourites in terms of RPGs. And it's just heartbreaking to say that about a company that I like, and it's like, yeah, well, you're shit now.
a video game company. Yeah. Look, you know.
Yeah.
Not everything is a 10 out of 10, you know.
No, of course not. It's just, but like those games, that franchise just did so much, you know, so much.
That's such a good franchise. Super keen for the
remaster. I will be keen to replay. I'm hoping they do some tweaks to 1, because 1, in my opinion, has not aged well. I tried to play it a while back. It didn't work. It wasn't fun anymore. it's been really it's aged really poorly. And so I'd like some improvements on 1. 2, you can kind of keep the same. 3, you can keep the same. I want 1 to be...
It could. I know it's a remaster, but it could be an opportunity that they may.
I don't think they will.
Tweak the.
They'll be lazy.
I'm not saying they will.
I'm hoping.
I'm just saying they could surprise us.
They could. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Yeah. Another video game delay. The Medium. We mentioned it back when Xbox did their first live stream. It was that really cool looking horror game that Xbox had. It's a console exclusive, so it's coming to PC and Xbox. Yes, it was meant to come out on December 10th.
It was one of the few ones that I was like, oh shit, this is good.
It looks dope, and it's by the guys who did Blair Witch. So that game got delayed to next year.
Yes, indeed. Oh, well, not surprised.
January... Well, do you know why? So it was originally coming out on December 10th. Do you have any idea?
That's my answer.
Nah, come on, give us a crack. Give it a crack.
I can't think of it. I don't know. They need to overwork or some shit.
No. Cyberpunk was pushed to December 10th.
Oh, you sneaky motherfuckers.
Remember? Cyberpunk got delayed to December 10th. And so I've got a statement. After much careful thought and consideration, today we have made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Medium to January 28th, 2021. It wasn't an easy choice to make, but one made due to the COVID-19 situation in Poland, as well as the current schedule of other games on the market. And then just saying, we remain committed to delivering our biggest, most ambitious, fear-inducing experience to date, blah, blah, blah. And the additional development time will allow us to add further polish. Which I agree. It's always nice to have that additional polish, but don't blame it on COVID. And I don't blame them, dude. Cyberpunk is a scary game to go up against.
It's going to dominate the market.
People got pissed at when it got delayed because people took time off work for the day of release for that game.
Yeah.
People decided, I'm going to take my sick days for 3 or 4 days just to smash this game. That's how much of a thing it was. It is. It's a very important game to them, to a lot of people. And it is it's easily the most anticipated game of this year. I don't care what else comes out. It is the most anticipated game of this year.
No, full stop. There's no argument.
It sucks that is what caused The Medium to delay.
Can you imagine if it comes out now and it's crap?
I'll be so sad. I'll be really sad.
Can you just imagine
I'll be sad, man.
That gut punch that it'll be if it's it's like Cyberpunk comes out.
Here's the problem, right?
As is this scary
game. It could be a really good game.
And it still might.
But people won't like it as much because they hyped it too much in their head. That's my thing. I've got pretty steady expectations for it. I'm expecting a good RPG, good conversational mechanics, and some fun gunplay. I get that. I'll be stoked. Anyway, let's move on. Call of Duty Cold War.
Now what?
Some more scummy shit.
Cheaters.
No, this is Cold War, so this is the game that's coming out on Friday. So they released a new trailer, and they announced some it's just shit. It's just shitty stuff, in my opinion. They essentially announced that some more exclusive things for PlayStation players.
Oh, wait, which game did this last week? Was it
Call of Duty Cold War with Onslaught? Oh. But they also announced, on top of Onslaught, they announced some XP bonuses, 2 extra loadouts for PS players. They get extra Battle Pass content and extra skips on the Battle Pass and shit. Which is just It's nothing pay to win. It's just it's not fair. Like everyone else is paying the same amount and getting less content. Even if it's not massive content that they're doing, it's scummy.
Who's making this COD?
Treyarch, but it's Activision who's making these deals.
Yeah, so
it doesn't matter. It's just Activision being shit.
Yeah,
which surprise.
Because Activision, are they owned by Sony?
No, Activision's their own big company, so they're like
no, but there's because Activision's always made games for Sony.
No, so you're thinking of because of like Crash and that is owned by Activision, but back in the day that was Universal Studios.
Universal.
I am Sean Connery.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I was gonna say rest in peace. But no, it was Universal Studios who then got bought out by Activision.
Okay.
But they've never. I don't remember them making PlayStation exclusives. Like they've done a lot of timed exclusives with PlayStation this generation, but last generation it was all Xbox. They did all that stuff, but I just think it's stupid. It's scummy, and it's on Activision and on PlayStation. It's on both of them.
Maybe they're just trying to bank on who's gonna win.
Well, PlayStation is throwing money. That's what's happening. PlayStation's going, money, give us some extra shit. So they buy it on our console. And it's shit. It's just scummy. It's not fair. It's not cool. I'm going to shit on Marvel Avengers for doing that shit. I'm going to shit on COD for doing it too. Anyway, they also announced some better news though. So remember how we shat on the size of the game? They dropped it by 90 gigs. It's gone from 180 gigs to 82 gigs. And if you just get the multiplayer alone is just 35 gigs from 50. Which is just, I think it's just funny that they dropped it so much, the download size.
Because it's fucking stupid.
Because it's not a game that it's so poorly optimized.
It does not need that much space.
It's poorly optimized. That's all it is. Anyway, let's move on quickly. Get away from that. Marvel's Avengers.
And they didn't.
They didn't do anything, so it's just more it's just sad news, Their store, they dropped all their cosmetics and their microtransactions by half price, which is the sign of a game that is dying and not getting those purchases. Anthem did it just before it died as well. So it's sad. Bye. Also, Square Enix, analysts kind of went, Marvel's Avengers cost Square Enix $48 million. They got a $48 million loss from Avengers. For people freaking out for Square, don't. You gotta remember, this is also the same year they released the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which made them a lot of money. So, they're fine. But they lost $48 million on this game. It was apparently they only sold 60% of what they intended. I will say though, Square puts stupid numbers on what they expect though. They do. They expect sometimes stupid shit. And when it doesn't reach, it's huh? Some of them, this game needs to do 15 million copies, and it's bro, chill. Anyway, let's move on. Ubisoft did an oopsie. Not a bad oopsie, it's a funny oopsie. So, in Norway, AC Valhalla got accidentally discounted to $12 US. And I'm not just talking about the base game, the Ultimate Edition, which is normally $130 US.
Accidentally happened.
Okay, so I don't know the exact name of the currency used in Norway, but essentially, if they were to use euros, it'd be 109 euros. And so, whereas in Norway, it'd be 1,109, whatever the currency is. And so they just accidentally wrote 109. I just find it funny. Hey, look, you know what? They got a Viking discount. They deserve it. If it wasn't for Norway, Ubisoft wouldn't have the story anyway, okay? So
They got a.
that's like one of the heads for the fucking like the news articles. Ubisoft gave Norway a Viking discount. I just think that's a funny oopsie. It was just funny. It's just funny. A funny little goof and a gaff and a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
Now, to finish it off on a bit of sad news, this is the final news piece though, don't worry. Activision Blizzard COO, Daniel Allegra, or whatever his name is, he said in an investor call that the company wants to bring its franchises to the widest possible audience, and mobile is a critical part of that. We need to make sure, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
What? Oh, sorry.
We need to make sure that we're enabling our franchises on the billions of mobile devices that are available right now, Allegra said. That's by far our biggest opportunity, and we're investing meaningfully to capitalize on this and to take all our franchises to mobile over time. That's really, really important to us. So he also pointed out that Activision Blizzard's resources are finite, so the company plans to focus on where the biggest opportunities are. Essentially meaning, if it goes well, you can essentially expect most of these titles to stay on mobile and not move to console if it makes more money for them.
Yeah.
Because COD Mobile made them fucking $300 million. Like, why wouldn't they? It's a shame, man. It's a real shame.
Dumb.
It's a shame. It's really heartbreaking.
Dumb.
Like, they've got, like, the new Crash game that's coming out on mobile and shit. Like, it's just... It's a bit heartbreaking. But you know what? Let's end this on some memories of the greats. So, 2 days ago, yesterday, the Xbox Series X came out. Tomorrow, the PS5 comes out, my guy. I'm getting my PS5 tomorrow. Yeah! So let's remember the generation, man. Let's remember the generation. Stop looking at me like that. I got excited. I'm getting a PS5. I get to play Demon Souls tomorrow. I get to play Spider-Man Miles Morales tomorrow. I get to play Godfall tomorrow. I'm a happy boy. I'm milking these titties tomorrow. I can't play for too long though, which is really heartbreaking because I have to go to work. Ugh, adulting.
Tell them
I've been sick all week and I can't. I wish I got sick yesterday. But I'm glad I didn't because I wouldn't be able to pick up the PS5. But, anyway. Let's talk about our favourite games, man. I want to do it from, bottom to top. If you've got it in an order. I do.
I mean, I know what my one is.
Right.
We
will also mention some honorable mentions as well. I'll bring up a few that didn't quite make it, but I still loved this generation. Well, should I start with my third then?
Sure.
My third is Control. Control was a phenomenal game. It is a phenomenal game. It's just the combat, the mystery in it, the best force abilities in any Star Wars game that's not a Star Wars game ever. No, seriously, it's just there's not much I can say except for the amazing mystery that is the Federal Bureau of Control. The creepiness of the hiss, the awesome abilities that you can use and wield are just amazing. The reason why it's not higher is the last DLC was a bit lackluster. And so it knocked it down a little bit, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
But still, overall, it's a phenomenal game. I could not recommend it more. And anyone who could get the chance to play it, take that fucking chance. It's amazing. It's so worth it. What's your third, my guy?
Um, for me,
Yes, for you.
it's gotta be Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
Um, dude, I just sunk a lot of hours into that game.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
um, combat was great. It
Mm.
was customization was
Did you play
great.
the expansion?
No, I didn't because so when it came out, I got it on the Xbox One,
Yeah.
and then halfway through its run, I transferred
To
uh,
PS4.
to PS4. Um, and the only reason I literally haven't got it again is because I
Dude,
think,
the
yeah,
hours
I
that would require.
yeah, um, and I don't have a problem with that, like the
No,
hours
no,
of
no,
game.
no, no. It's
The
just
problem with hours of the again, like
yeah,
getting to the
yeah.
point
No,
that I
no.
was
There's
at.
no problem with it. I loved when I played Monster Hunter World. It wasn't a game for me personally, but
Mm,
I can still say it was a brilliant game, and it
yeah,
did what Monster Hunter has kind of always seemed like it wanted to be. And they finally got this chance, and they did it, and they were like,
yeah.
"Wow, we
Executed
figured it out."
executed perfectly.
Yeah,
Combat was great.
100%.
Exploration was great. Customization was
Dude,
great. It's
just
just
the fear of seeing those giant monsters and going, I have to fight that?
and
Fuck.
just and wait those early days where you're just like, oh, time to run.
Yeah, it's just. Fucking big T Rex boy fucking running behind you. It's like, that's it.
Pretty much.
But
Pretty much.
it's a brilliant game. I couldn't agree more. That's a great pick.
And obviously the tactical of like, using this against this monster, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
And also just that co-op, that fun
Oh,
time when you could
so
co-op
fun.
and you do that 4-man fucking fight and you've got everyone kind of there doing their own specific thing to take this fucker down is
Yeah.
just it's epic. It's
It's
so epic.
It's
That's the
so
best way to say it.
surprising
It
at
is
how much
epic.
teamwork you can have with people that you
You
probably
don't
won't
know.
speak.
Yeah.
You don't know, and you won't speak to when you
Yeah.
play the game.
But like
It's weird to know that when you have like, okay, so you get into a 4-man team, you see someone with a specific weapon, you know what their job is,
yeah.
you know what your job
Yeah.
is, and that's it.
I want to preface it as well with this game. The best word to describe it is just scale. The scale of this game. Like, there's been many games that had giant bosses. God of War as a franchise does that, where you're doing these epic scale battles. But no game just has a scale where it's not cinematic. Like God of War's, all their scale is cinematically done. Whereas this is a big motherfucker that I have to get to, and
Hell yeah.
I agree. That's a really good pick. That's in the honorable mentions for me. As much as it wasn't the game for me, I can still respect it and go, that shit's good. Now,
Hell yeah.
my second one's a bit of a cheat. Because I consider these games to all be one. And that is From Software this generation. From Bloodborne to Dark Souls 3, and then to my personal favourite of the three, Sekiro. I mean, need I say more, man?
Not really.
No, like the some of the best, if not the best, combat I've had in a game that is like the best just fucking weaponry combat, just fucking you are just one-on-one with these monsters, these beasts. And it again, to harken back to Monster Hunter but in a different way, scale. The size of some of these monsters that just appear and you just look at it and you go, I've got to fight this fucker. And unlike Monster Hunter where it's like, I got to climb on top, it is just, you have to just look up and hope that you can win, And, like, to kind of focus on Sekiro, because that's technically my number 2, because it's my favourite of the three. the amount of fun it is to figure out that game. Like, I was struggling with it to begin with. I was like, don't know. But as soon as I clicked with this game, it is the funnest combat in any FromSoft game, without a doubt in my mind. It is so... cinematic is a good way to put it. Even though it's not. It is just pressing the LB button to fucking parry. But cinematic is what comes to my mind. Having a dude literally just having a flurry of swords just hitting each other while you're blocking and he's just fucking smacking you down, and then you've exhausted him and you just get that fucking final blow in is just it. No other game has done it like that, and no other game, in my opinion, until they make a Sekiro 2, will do it. They might, but I don't think so. It's phenomenal, man. It's an amazing game, and if people are a fan of FromSoft and are a fan of kind of more of the actual Twitch-based combat, I couldn't recommend it more. And like that, a cool timing-based mechanic, I couldn't recommend it more. If you've got anything, I chimed in with Monster Hunter. You can chime in. Look, like I said, Bloodborne and that can count for you. I'm assuming that's what on your list already.
Yes.
I figured as much. I'm assuming is it number 2 for you, or?
No, so I was just going to say, I was going to suggest maybe you go with your 1 purely because I can then sort of discuss about mine together. Because
your number 2 and 1 are together?
Well, my number 2 and 1 are let's say even. But
do you know what? Bring it. No, you do it. It's your go now. I'll then bring up 1 after. That's fine.
So, like, my number 1 and 2. My number 1 is Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And
it was the game that made you get a PS4.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the game that convinced you to get a PlayStation.
And my number 2 is God of War. Those games are essentially tied, and the only reason why Bloodborne is number 1 is because I froth the
Gothic
setting.
horror.
Yeah. I froth that stuff. Like when I was a kid, I'm talking like how old was I? Like I'm talking when I was like 13 or something like that. I would watch the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing film.
Oh, mate. Fucking brilliant. Love that film.
One
of the best werewolf turns just in films.
Yes.
Best werewolf transformation.
And I loved that shit.
Yeah.
And I watched that shit so much, and it's the whole reason why I'm into the supernatural like themes and the fantasy themes. And then so when Bloodborne came out, and effectively you play a Van Helsing, let's be honest, I was just like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
Yeah.
And dude, I had so much fun with that game. So much fun. I've got like multiple builds saved on my computer.
That's the best part about FromSoft games is
FromSoft games.
You can except for Sekiro. Actually, Sekiro is the only one that's not like that.
Yeah.
But like all the others, there is so many things you can do and change to completely change your experience, and you still get that bits of difficulty because it's like I have to play completely differently. Not so much Bloodborne, Dark Souls. I'd say the playstyle changes a bit more, but still, like you can do so much with it anyway. And
100%.
I agree.
And then I just love those specific themes and that art style, etc. And just love the game is just a well-made game, full stop. Sound design, like literally music design, everything just top notch. And then the same can be exactly said for God of War. I still love the setting of the new God of War.
Yeah,
Like I love
100%.
the mythological setting, etc. It's just gothic horror, Victorian-esque things is
Yeah,
just what my like personally like. Oh,
yeah,
that's my thing. But God of War, dude. Oh my god, just sound design, everything, and then just
absolutely.
the phenomenal writing of it. Like,
I mean,
oh
they made one of the most hated characters and one of the most hateable characters into an understandable person, and they made you like Kratos, which that in and of itself deserves an award, you know, because Kratos through God of War 1 to 3, everyone was like, yeah, he's a cunt. He's just a cunt. And in this, it's like, he's a lovable cunt. He's a cunt trying to fix it.
yeah, it's just
I agree.
so well written.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Dude, that shit is like masterfully written.
Oh, I 100% agree. The only reason God of War isn't in that list for me, I'm gonna sneeze. Sweet. Anyway, the only reason God of War isn't on my list is I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But for me, the combat wasn't there yet. I think it was in the right track. I think it was still really good. Like, nothing will beat fucking throwing that axe and bringing it back. That is one of the funnest mechanics in a video game to date. But I think that the combat, they had an idea and they almost got there for me. It wasn't quite there yet. And I think I got a little bored of just the backtracking that happened a little bit. And I don't know, I got a little bored of that stuff, but otherwise, like, I agree. It's masterfully written. I 100% agree with everything you said.
100%. I mean, by the end of the game, I got super fucking good at it. Like,
I was good at the game. I was great at the combat. I beat all the Valkyries on hard mode, like on the hardest difficulty. I was good at the game. It was almost there. Like, the weight of the weaponry, all that was brilliant. I just think, and like the combos, awesome. There was just, I don't know what it was. I could not point it out to you. There was just something that was like, that just didn't sit right. But you know, I agree. It was really good. My only problem was a little bit of Atreus. Gave me the shits, but you know, he was written that way. But I just have a problem with annoying kids in games. They fuck me off.
problem with kids in general.
Hey, I'm great with my nephews.
With your blood.
Yeah, that's all that matters. They're my nephews. They're the only ones who I care about. Fuck the other kids. They can burn. Actually, no. I like your niece as well because she's practically blood. But that's it. No more. Okay.
Moving on.
My number one is a sequel to the number one from my previous generation, the generation before, and that's Red Dead 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is my game of the generation. It wouldn't have been that if I hadn't, when I came back to Oz, I reinstalled the game on my PC. I got it on PC because I played it on PS4 back when it first came out. And I loved it. And it was great at the time. But going back to it, I had just as much, if not more fun, even on the second playthrough. And this is talking about a game that it is slow. It is a slow game. You know? But from the dialogue to the again, talk about a well-written story.
Yes.
You know, like the story in Red Dead 2. Seriously, man, I knew what was gonna happen. Everyone who'd played the first game knew how it was gonna end, and I still fucking cried. I was still going, fuck! It fucking, it fucked me. It bent me over and fucked me, and I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Got a bear.
Oh,
Did your chair just break?
no! I just accidentally pushed down the arm. I just.
Can you imagine you just topple off camera?
But no, I Red Dead 2 is my game of the generation. Let's talk about a few honorable mentions. Spider-Man.
Spooder boy.
Spider-Man is a definite honorable mention. It was nearly my number 3.
Oh, yeah?
But Control hit me in ways.
Just controlled.
Ghost of Tsushima, for me, is a great game to end the generation. Phenomenal game. I mean, dude, last time we were on, Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
It's a game to be mentioned. I do think after taking some time away, it's not as high as it was when we spoke about it. But it was still, in my opinion, it's still a good game. And, like, talk about amazing characters, amazingly voice-acted characters. The talent in the voice acting alone, like...
Yeah.
You know, I shit on Troy Baker all the time. I do it in a way that's, like, I respect him. I think he's one of the most amazing voice actors ever. I think his talent is... Anyone challenging his talent is an idiot. He's objectively a brilliant voice actor. Outside of things, we can question him. But, like, the voice acting from Troy to the voice actor of Ellie to all of them, like, it was just phenomenal. Another thing to mention, Uncharted 4 / Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yep, fair enough.
Again, would have made it. It's probably one of my favorite. It's my favorite PlayStation exclusive. Is the Uncharted franchise. And 4 was an amazing end, and then Lost Legacy was an amazing. Like, hey, if we go make another Uncharted, this is where we go. I hope they do that because it was phenomenal. They wrote that game so well. Lost Legacy. What about for you? Yeah.
Resident Evil
7?
7, even the remakes.
The remakes too, yeah.
We won't necessarily count the remakes because they're remakes.
No, we can. Because they are a different game. I agree. No, the remakes, absolutely. I think they deserve a count because, you know, they might be the same story, but you look at 2 and then 2 remake and 3 and 3 remake, they're completely different.
100%, especially Resident Evil 7, especially.
Yeah. I liked RE2 remake more, but I liked where they took 7.
7 was like the soft reboot.
Yeah.
It was a sequel. It made it fresh, and it's made you excited for the next ones.
Yeah, they found a new blueprint that they wanted, similar to God of War. They figured something out that they wanted, and they tested it out here. This is their test run,
and it worked.
It worked, and I can't wait for 8 doing a similar thing. I cannot wait. I'm really keen on it. Hopefully, some more enemy variety with 8.
What else? I can't.
I mean, yeah, Resident Evil Remake's great choice. Look, for me, and my nostalgia, Ratchet and Clank remake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I fucking had a blast.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the new one for next year. Oh my god, I'm so ready.
You just cut out at the very end.
I'm so ready.
It just you just so said, ready. Oh my god, and then it was just...
Well, I said, oh my god, I'm so ready. The Spyro remakes.
Yeah, Spyro.
The Reignited, they're remasters.
A lot of remasters.
Yeah. Graphical overhaul. Spyro the graphical overhaul is probably the best way. Crash Bandicoot. Insane Trilogy. Also one to mention.
Indeed.
All of them great. Now, guys, we're not mentioning Switch games. I should probably have mentioned this. We're not mentioning that because the Switch is continuing. Yes. It's still going. So we'd rather wait until the Switch stops. That's when we'll mention the Switch.
JoJo pose. Sorry.
Holy shit!
I'm getting
Do you want to know how
point.
I got past part 1?
How?
I just read the manga instead. I was like, I'm just gonna speed run part 1 and 2, and then start with the anime with part 3. Yeah, and it was the best. It was the best thing.
Part 1 and 2 are real short.
I couldn't get through it, dude. I would get to episode 6 every time.
Yeah, but that's halfway. You're
And
halfway
and
there.
then but it was so boring. I'd be like, I'm done. I quit. I give up. Every time. Part 1 is shit. It is dog shit. It is trash. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not saying it's good.
It is fucking trash. And it is... There's a reason why there are people who can't get into JoJo, and it is part 1. And so, the manga, I sped run that shit. Like, I just massive speed run. All of 1 and part 2. Done in like 2 days. Fucking easy. Started part 3. Much better. Much better.
Oh well, that's it.
And yeah, that's it, man. I mean, I can't wait for tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be streaming Demon Souls.
Just like you said, you were gonna be streaming that other thing,
Valhalla. I would have streamed Valhalla, but I was sick. I was sick when it came out, and I was like, I cannot talk. Like my throat was like fucked. I couldn't talk, so I was like, well, I'm gonna play it. So, and then Legion sucked, so that's that. But I will be streaming Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Spider-Man. I'll probably keep for myself. That's a me game. That's a little me game.
What?
That's a me game. I'm just gonna play Spider-Man like off stream, and I'm not sure with Godfall. I don't know what to do with Godfall.
Oh, troubles.
Because those are the games I'm gonna get. I might get that fucking Fortnite racing game, All Stars Derby or whatever it is.
Or the one where you like jump out the car.
Yeah, you do the parkour crazy stuff. That looked fun.
Oh, yeah.
It looked fun. I can't wait to see what the controller is like. That's what I'm excited for. I want to see that fucking R2. You know? Can't wait to.
And this is where I leave.
Oh, you don't like a little...
Have a good night,
anyway.
everyone.
No. Let's do the ending. 3, 2, 1. You've been NerdSpice. Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, but we're in sync. That's why.